is our final week in this series, Helping Others Helps Ourselves. And I wanted to share with you kind of a personal story because I think that it's really, in our minds, when we think of helping others, we think of like big gestures, right? Like we're like, oh, I want to help people, but I'm not really in a place where I can do that, right? Because we think it's like paying off a mortgage or giving somebody a house. Like people are like, I want to buy my parents a house. That's how I'm going to help them. Or you think, I really want to help people by donating 15% of my income to the children of Bangladesh, right? Like we think of these big sweeping things. Well, the reality is, for most of us, the things that are going to make a big difference in other people's lives are small things. They're small gestures. You know, we all think about the fact that we want to leave a legacy, right? Like we know that. We want to leave the world a better place. We want to help others. Those are things we want. But we think that that means that you have to cure cancer, or you're going to have to be Madame Curie or Thomas Jefferson. Well, that's not the case. Small things make huge differences. So the first photo, this is my friend Cory. Cory is 42, he's a mortgage lender in Texas, he's a dad, of a 5-year-old, Paige. He is married to one of my best friends from junior high and high school, if you'll show that picture. This is Jamie. Jamie's one of my good pals. But he is just a guy like all of us, right? He's just a guy doing his best, living his best life, doing everything that he can do. Well, my cousin, Renee, was diagnosed with cancer about 4 months ago now. And it was a huge sort of shock to our system and our family, because Renee just turned 40 this year. And at first, she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, which the mortality rate for pancreatic cancer is 97% in 12 months. So odds aren't great, right? Like that's not great odds. So we were devastated, obviously, and sort of looking for any sort of, grace, hope that we could find. And Cory, who I had probably met 5 times during the course of my life. Yes, he was married to one of my good friends from school, but it wasn't like he and I hung out all the time. But he sent me this message, and I'll show you. This is Renee, her little post. Go ahead. This is Renee when she first posted. This is what I posted when we first found out. And then this is what Cory wrote. So he wrote, Lisi, my prayers go out to your cousin. I pray that it is not pancreatic cancer. However, know that whatever the origin, it is beatable. If she would like to reach out to me, please have her do so. I can share all I know. God bless. So here's the beauty of that message. So when Cory posted this message, he had had pancreatic cancer for 12 months. So he had been suffering with the disease, with cancer for 12 months. As I said, Cory's a mortgage broker, right? He's a dad of a 5-year-old. He's a husband, and he knew the odds. 97%. 97% are gone in a year. And at 1 year, this man, who barely knew me for the most part, was reaching out to me to offer me hope. And I will tell you that in the moment that I got this message, it was one of the more humbling moments of my life, truly, because I knew how bad his situation was, right? Like I knew how close he was to the end of his life. And he was doing things during that time, like writing cards for his little girl to last until she was 21. He was figuring out what he wanted his wife to say at her wedding, right? Like what did he want that toast to say? Because he knew he wasn't going to be there. He touched me in an incredibly profound way. So Cory lost his battle with cancer, and on Friday, I had the blessing, truly, of getting to go to his service. Now again, I've told you, regular guy, right? An amazing man. but just like us. He's a mortgage broker, dad. He was not Thomas Jefferson, not Madame Curie. But over 500 people came to his funeral. Every eulogy that was given talked about how Cory had changed people's lives. And every story that was told was about these small acts of grace and kindness and compassion that he shared with people. If you'll go to the next slide. So this is Cory and Jamie and Paige. He was at the end of his life. He was in the hospital, and he rallied so many people around him that the nursing staff ended up buying pizza for all of the guests at the hospital. One of the nurses who treated him at the hospital came and spoke at the funeral after only having known Cory for about 3 weeks because of how moved she was by the man that he was. He was a man who, even at the end of his life, he used every single moment to try to help others, to try to make other people's lives better. So as sad as this is, it's an incredibly uplifting story. Because what it says is that through small acts, seemingly unimportant, like did Cory know that he was going to change my life through one tiny Facebook post? No, obviously not, right? Like you think that's insignificant, that doesn't matter. But guys, the amazing thing is, it is the small things that will change somebody. It is the small act of grace or kindness that can change someone else's life. It can change the course of their day or their week, their month, their year, and we are all capable of doing that. And I find that to be one of the most uplifting things I've heard in a very long time. You do not have to have millions of dollars. You do not have to be a brain surgeon. You don't have to be anything except exactly who you are. Helping others can be through just being there for your friends, being there for your fellow realtors in this office, there to lend an ear. It can be offering someone the opportunity to come work at Kevo. There are so many opportunities for us to change someone else's life. So at the end of this, I think this is them together. We did a balloon release at the end because Paige wanted to send balloons to heaven. So we did a balloon release, and we probably caused some sort of plane to malfunction. But there were 300 balloons that floated into the sky, and it was beautiful. And I just remember thinking, I hope that I can be more like Cory. I hope that I can live my life in a way that I change others. So today, my challenge to you guys is this: be more like Cory. Help others because it will provide a legacy for yourself that will be unmatched. Help others because it will help to heal you. Do these things, and I promise your life will go on so much beyond your time here on earth, right? So guys, be like Cory. Have an amazing week. If you need me, I'm here for you. And now I would like to introduce our